So tonight's Question Everything focuses on a commercial airing a lot in Massachusetts, including right here on WBZ.
The theme of the ads is freedom. The narrator is an elected official in an election year, and you are paying for them. Well, Stephen G. reached out to me with several questions, including, what are these ads costing us? Tonight, I have the answers.
On a cold winter day, Massachusetts changed the world.
They are bite-sized history lessons, 30-second ads with AI-generated video about Massachusetts' role in battling the British and giving birth to a democracy. There are a few versions, and they're all narrated by the Secretary of the Commonwealth, William Galvin.
Today, we all need to step up. Freedom and liberty need protection.
Steve Gussinoff saw the commercials and wanted to talk.
Nice to meet you. I'm David.
When Steve first saw the Freedom ads, he loved them.
But then it ran again and again and again, day after day, week after week, on every channel I turned on.
2 if by sea.
The more he saw, the more questions he had. In fact, he had a list of questions that he wanted answered.
What is the value and meaning of the spot? What was the cost to produce the spot? What was the cost of the media buy? And most importantly, who was paying for this media adventure?
I told Stephen I'd find out, which meant going not to the State House, but instead to this building in Dorchester. Let's first talk about the cost of the ads. It was $23,000 to produce them, another $180,000 to buy the airtime. So $203,000. Where does that come from? It actually comes from the budget of the Massachusetts Archives and Commonwealth Museum, which the Secretary of State oversees. Have you always been a historian?
Yes.
Yeah. Besides being in charge of elections, Galvin is also in charge of the state archives and its incredible historical documents, some of which are part of a special display right now at the Commonwealth Museum. I recognize William Howe from your commercial. This is where I met up with Galvin.
I think this is a very appropriate expenditure of public funds.
So you want people to come down here because they don't know this. Galvin has now had his job for 3 decades and is up for re-election this fall. He bristles at the idea that the commercials are basically campaign ads.
That is not a political commercial.
This is not a political commercial.
Not at all. It's a historical commercial. That's what it's about.
Were you always sure that you should be in the commercial?
Well, I'm the chairman of the Mass Historical Commission. Why would I not do it? Well, I suppose the offered reason by political people is, well, this is an election year. Well, the election isn't going to be for 8 months from the time of the commercial run.
While the ads do profile important local figures in the Revolutionary War and do talk about standing up for democracy now more than ever, they do not mention the museum exhibit at all, other than a web address that appears in just one ad.
The commercial doesn't mention the museum.
Well, it doesn't mention it per se.
Do you think that if we're trying to prop up the museum, that we couldn't have had somebody from the museum telling the story?
I don't think so. I don't think that you would have had anybody who would have the ability to do it. I mean, I could have hired a professional actor. I could have hired a professional person, broadcast person, but that would cost money too.
But do you think that the museum should have been mentioned in the commercials?
Well, we try to. As you know, you've been in TV a long time. Time is tight. But I would have had to sacrifice talking about Henry Knox and George Washington.
Now back to the cost, $203,000. The state has received $30,000 from sponsors to help pay for the commercials. They think more donations should be coming in. The rest, though, will be on taxpayers, like our curious viewer, Steve Gussinoff.
I thought it was an awful lot of very nice promotion that had no value to the voter.
Well, to be clear, Galvin is not accused of any ethics violations. He's not accused of any wrongdoing at all right now. But this is not the first time that a WBZ viewer has had questions about Galvin ads. We went through our archives and we found 10 years ago, other viewers had also questioned why he's in so many commercials. If you have a question you'd like us to answer, like Stephen did, send us an email, questioneverything@cbsboston.com.